right, first workout in a couple of weeks. Well, first speed workout in a couple weeks. On deck, have 8x400 and 200 at like 2 mile race pace, and a 200 meter jog recovery between those. Got to get that red line up. So figured gotta run down to the high school and drop some things off to get ready for track season. So it's as good a time as any to hop on here and make the magic happen. So why don't we? Weather in Boston the past year has been trash. No excuses, we gotta get this done. No excuses, we gotta get this done. Back in November, I ran a turkey trot, and my 10K was basically around 6-minute pace. So I'm kind of guesstimating that 3K pace for me somewhere in the like 535 to 550 bucket, which for a 200 and 400 is, hey, it's a pretty wide window. So I'll start off around 550 pace and try to drop it from there. 200 meter jog recoveries, probably gonna take about a minute on each one of those. I ran a 12 by 200 workout a few weeks back, and those were at mile pace, and I was doing the recoveries in about a minute. So we'll do it again.
I've been driving around in my car, looking for some kind of open bar. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Got no money, but I'll work it out with my charm. Having a good time, ain't doing no harm. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Hey now, honey, I've been driving around in my car, looking for some kind of open bar. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Got no money, but I'll work it out with my charm. Having a good time, ain't doing no harm. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright.
Halfway down.
Hey now, honey, I've been driving around in my car, looking for some kind of open bar. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Got no money, but I'll work it out with my charm. Having a good time, ain't doing no harm. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright.
One set to go. 1, 4, 1, 2. We're doing it, we're doing it. That's a wrap. 8 sets of 400s and 200s and 3K in the book. Legs feel all right. All right, planning for Boston in Operation 2020 isn't just about the facts and figures on the training plan. It's also making sure that the strength and conditioning side and the flexibility side are right. So going to catch up with my personal trainer, Dre, old high school teammate, and make sure that we're developing a plan appropriately for this upcoming season.
Look at that vein. Give me a big muscle. Like, give me a muscle. That's, alright, never mind. I'm just kidding. Put your arm down. Cocky little son of a bitch. What a dick. Okay, hold on. Wait, what? My forearm bigger than my bicep. It's kind of sad, dude. It's like the same.
Because I'm diesel, bro. Just.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to say about that. That's interesting. I don't know what kind of forearm game you have, but arms out to the side.
Former walk-all 10.
Mm-hmm. Put this on your belly button.
Should I take the watch off too, just to
Nope. It's not
Say the
gonna
pounds.
help.
All right.
It's
Damn.
not gonna help.
Rude.
Your glasses are pretty heavy though.
Damn.
How tall are you?
5'11" and 3/4.
Oh, nice.
On dating apps, I'm 6 foot.
That's what I said.
Yep. See, I got a lot more hair than normal, you know? Gotta shave them sides.
Really? Really? I need to cut my hair too.
Maybe just that. So I should
Oh,
just
oh,
trim
no.
that up.
No, no.
Trim that up.
Just want to play with this.
Give it to me straight, Doc.
I got 11 to 12% body fat, man. They're pretty big. That actually means you're on pretty much close to essential fat, which is body building level, but you're at athlete level right now. So you're pretty darn good.
All right. I mean, I think at this point, from like a general wellness standpoint, I probably need to pack on some muscle if I'm having issues with that posterior oblique chain, like that whole glute back issue.
So upsetting like that.
Yeah,
Go ahead, keep talking.
But no, clearly, like there's imbalances and deficiencies. That doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to pack on like a bunch of weight in the thorax, but I think that I need to get back to some sort of more regular strength and conditioning of this section, and so I think inherently that will build some. For this edition of the Run Flat Stay Low vlog, I want to give you guys a behind the scenes, behind the curtain peek at my build-up for the Boston Marathon happening on April 20th. Obviously, Operation 2020 is all about crushing it at every distance from the mile on up, and definitely don't want to have to run more than one road marathon this year if I don't have to. So I want to make sure I really nail this Boston build-up. So I've taken a peek back at what I did before the marathon last year, and everything else was basically just go for a run at roughly marathon pace and call it even. This year, I'm really trying to be a bit more focused and diligent about hitting both sides of the spectrum, making sure my easy days are easy, but also putting in some harder than marathon pace efforts, because I think that's going to help me perform well on the day in Boston, especially now having run the course once. But I also, because of Operation 2020, need to make sure that I have leg speed that's going to carry down into a mile, a 5K, a 10K, and so on. So I want to take you guys into a look of the spreadsheet and the plan and my best attempts to do that. So got everything lined up here in Excel, nothing too fancy that you all couldn't accomplish or make happen on your own if you wanted to. So starts off with just the date. You got which week we are looking at, so it is helpful to know how many weeks you have until you toe the line for a given event. Target, which for this buildup, I'm going to be doing mileage targets for each week. Very important to emphasize that it's just a target. It's not an end-all be-all. I'm not going to be that person who goes out for 2 miles at 11 o'clock at night on a Sunday just for the sake of hitting a number. But just to give myself an approximation to make sure I'm building up consistently. And then throughout the day of the week, we're going to log in what I want the run to be. If there's a specific focus, so if it's a threshold day, a marathon pace day, a true easy day, a day where we focus on climbing, something like that. And then a line for supplemental activities. I want to make sure this year, because of the back issues and just the fact that I'm getting older, that I'm actually prioritizing time for strength work, mobility work,
and just all of the extra movement snacks to be my best self for the entirety of the year. So have a line dedicated for that as well, so I can stay on top of that. The supplemental line might not be built in too much as I build this plan right now. Some stuff makes sense to link with each other, a speed workout and a heavy weight session, for instance, but I also want to keep it open there, so as I progress throughout the buildup, I can slide in and I can write in each day what I did, and then if there is a glaring need, it'll become very apparent in a way that it might not in something like Strava, for instance. So as we scroll down, you'll also see that I've already color-coded a few things in here. My green cells here are days that I know I'm going to be traveling somewhere. I have an orange cell because I have a coaching clinic that I'm going to. Have a dedicated week color code here. That just signifies for me that it's the first week of practice for track. And so that's where my schedule is going to get a little bit more wonky than usual. Track meet that I know I'm going to be coaching on. So obviously probably not going to be very available that day. And then yellow for race days. So I'm actually going to be in my build-up. I'm going to be running the Oakland Running Festival half marathon. And then the Boston Marathon itself on April 20th. I actually have not run a half marathon officially in preparation for any of the road marathons I've done. So this will be a fun new challenge. I think it'll be a good barometer of my fitness. And if I can knock out that half marathon PR of 1:22:05 in this training block, that's one less race I have to worry about later in the season. So that's where we're at right now. Got the Boston Marathon on April 20th. Got the half marathon on March 22nd, a Sunday. And now let's go ahead and fill out the rest of this plan. So working back, in full disclosure, we're a little bit into January at this point already. So I kind of know where I'm at with these, and I know coming out of across the years what I was capable of knocking out. So building up that base a bit for this first part of January, and then making sure that the mileage progressions are smart from there. So not necessarily the 5 to 10% rule, not worried about things like that, but want to make sure that the mileage is consistently up there, because I need to be building that aerobic capacity. And then as the block moves on, the mileage itself probably won't increase very much from honestly the end of February until the end of the cycle, but the intensities will change. We'll start doing more longer marathon pace efforts. So historically, even looking at my buildup for probably the best shape I've been in 2016, which was the Crown King 50K to Whiskey Basin 88K double, where I did the two of those 2 or 3 weeks apart. I didn't top out at more than about, I think, 70 miles a week. If we look at my across the years buildup going into last year, into 2018 across the years, even then I was only knocking out, I think, 2 80-mile weeks total. That's probably about the maximum comfort level I have with mileage in a given week, is about that 80-mile week. So I'll aim for that, and then making it truly marathon specific. So let's fill in. All right, and once the workouts and long runs are all in, you're basically just filling out everything else to get up to the proper weekly mileage, while also having those easy recovery days in there, building in doubles where you have a good hunch you're going to need them. But again, this is just a template. This is just a plan. So I'm very okay with moving things in here around. If a workout isn't going to nail on a certain day, like right here, don't know why I backed those two back to back. Maybe I'll do something like actually move it here and then go. Maybe that makes a bit more sense. So we will obviously make adjustments on the fly as it makes sense. But the goal here is, be flexible, be dynamic, but be consistent. All right, by having actual workouts, actual long runs on the calendar, unlike in previous iterations, I'm really gonna be putting serious intention into this training block. No matter what, even if I am vaguely close to this plan, this is going to be the highest mileage I've put in before towing the line for any marathon. Honestly, even for a 50K, this would be probably the highest mileage I've put in ahead of it. So I'll be in great shape if I can just stay intentional throughout this entire training block. So I'm actually going to go ahead and post this via Google Drive, a little opportunity for you to actually look at this training as a whole. If you want to steal the template for yourself and whatever race you might have coming up, by all means go for it, but want to be as transparent as possible so you can see how I'm thinking getting ready for Boston.